What's up, guys? Dangle here, and today I'm here to share a few stories with you guys about what's happened to me while I've been working the past couple of months. So, just to give you guys a little context, I work at a movie theater in downtown Montreal. With that being said, when you work at a movie theater, you notice the regulars and you notice the weird people. You'll notice the people who just hang around the theater and never ever come and watch a movie. So, when I'm working there, I'm usually working as an usher. So that means that I open the doors before the movie starts, close them when the movie starts, and then I go in and I'll clean the theaters afterwards when the movie's over. Taking into account, though, that in all of these stories I'm going to tell you, they were all during opening weekends of movies, so packed theaters every time. The first story took place during the Despicable Me opening weekend. And I remember I was doing my rounds, just checking to see if all the theaters were working properly. And this one guy comes up to me. He's like, "Excuse me, sir. Somebody got up from the middle of the row where I'm sitting, walked to the aisle, and pissed in it, and then came back and sat down in his seat." And once the guy told me that, I was like, "Okay, you got to bring me to this guy." So we're walking to the theater. He's like, "Yeah, it smells disgusting now. Like, I don't know what that guy's thinking." So we finally get into the theater and we walk up to the row. And he's like, "It's this guy." So I'm like, "Okay, sir, you're gonna have to come with me." And as I'm walking out of the theater, I can smell the urine, and I feel it. I feel my feet sinking in because it's carpet in the theater, and it was just disgusting. So I pull this guy out of the theater, and I'm like, "Excuse me, I've been told that you took a piss in the movie theater." And the first thing he says to me is, "Oh yeah, that was me." And he basically told me right away that it was him who did it. And at this point, I'm in shock. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? So then I tell him, I'm like, "Sir, you know we have bathrooms here." And then he looks at me again. He's looking around, and he's like, "You guys have bathrooms?" And it was almost like him pissing on the floor is like a normal occurrence for him. Like, he does this all the time. And it was almost in shock. I wasn't even, at that point, I wasn't even mad at him. It was like normal behavior for this guy. And I'm interrupting his day from watching his movie, and he can just go on and piss on the floor whenever he wants. The second story took place during the Anchorman 2 release weekend. And I remember everybody leaves the theater, and I walk in because I'm about to clean it. And there wasn't any garbage except for in the very first row. When you walk into the theater, you'll turn to either left or right, and you see that first row, not in front of the screen, but like the middle row. Anyways, I see a cup. So I walk over, I'm going to go pick up the cup and throw it out. And then I notice the cup is filled with urine. And what's right beside it? A piece of shit. So, this courteous bastard pissed in the cup for me, but took a dump on the floor. And at this point, I'm pissed, but then I'm thinking to myself, as I'm walking to go get a bag to pick it up, I'm like, so this guy pissed in the cup, shit on the floor, but he had to pull down his pants during a packed movie and do that because he didn't want to miss any of the movie. And then people beside him were perfectly okay with this behavior. Nobody came out and complained. And then during the movie, when it smelled like shit, they were okay with it. And it boggled my mind that nobody complained. And I guess I wasn't even mad anymore about it. I was like, this guy's a huge beauty. The third and last story, which is the weirdest story of them all, this took place during the release week of Captain Phillips. And I remember we had assigned seating for that movie. So when you'd buy your ticket, you have a certain spot that you'd have to go sit in. Anyways, I remember this one guy comes out and he's like, "Excuse me, there's one guy sitting in my seat and he's not wearing a shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll just go in. I'll tell him to put his shirt on, and I'll help him find his proper spot." So as I walk in, I notice, like I'm walking in, the guy shows me. He's like, "Here, this is where the guy's sitting." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm walking, and I remember I get into the aisle, and then I notice he had his jacket on the seat beside him, so I couldn't see anything. And then as I get closer, I notice the man had no socks. The man had no pants, the man had no underwear, and the man obviously had no shirt. And he is masturbating during the pre-show of this movie. And the pre-show is where we just show commercials. So it's like a Honda commercial, a Coke commercial, a McDonald's commercial for like 30 minutes. and this guy's jacking off to the pre-show. And I'm like, I am just befuddled at this point. I'm like, what is going on? So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, excuse me, sir. I'm really going to have to ask you to leave. And he kind of turned his head like a horror movie kind of and locked eyes with me. And he just kept stroking his D. And this was the most awkward moment of my life. And we lock eyes, and it must have been 15 seconds. I felt like this guy was looking into my soul. And after that 15 seconds of him just stroking his D, he's just like, oh, you need me to leave? Okay. Gets up, grabs his stuff, puts on his clothes, and then just walked out of the theater. And it was like, oh, sorry, I'm interrupting people's day. Like, this guy was such a sick bastard. It was just crazy what he was thinking. Well, that's it, guys. Those are my 3 stories that have happened to me within the past couple of months at my work. And I hope you guys enjoyed them. They're kind of weird and just, stuff like that's been happening to me lately, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Anyways, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like, a thumbs up. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.